it's TxStampin Sharon. On today's video, we're going to be doing a little ombre look that's super easy and pretty quick. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, you can do so below. After you subscribe, you can hit the little bell. You'll be notified the next time I upload a video. I upload videos 3 times a week, and I have lots of tips and tricks to share with you. I love to hear your comments. I answer all of them. Let me know what you think about this ombre look. Today I'll be using the stamp set called All That You Are from the Occasions catalog. I love this stamp set. It's got a great big image, some smaller images, and then my favorite is when it has some sentiments to go with it. I'll be using the brayers from Stampin Up. When you purchase these brayers, you get 2 additional little foam rollers. You just take them to the sink, rinse them out, let them air dry. They're good to go. They may get a little stained, but that's fine. Here is my card. I know you probably can't tell, but I did use glossy cardstock, and it's just so shiny and pretty. I'll have all the measurements in the description box below. So if you miss anything, don't panic. I'll be telling you what my measurements are, but all of it will be written down below. I'm using a piece of glossy cardstock, and it is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I have a scrap piece of Daffodil Delight, and I have a piece of Daffodil Delight that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I always love to use the Whisper White Thick for my card bases. This is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. I also have a piece, it's kind of a big piece of scrap paper to do some more punching with. The first thing we're gonna do is do some stamping. We're gonna stamp our image using Versamark. I want to use my embossing buddy all over this. My stamp is fairly large, so I always like to ink up a stamp upside down. You do have to be careful. The Versamark when you're stamping on the glossy, it could slip a little bit. We're going to use some white emboss powder. Tap that off really well. Next, we're going to heat set. You want to make sure that that is good and cool before you start doing anything else. There we go. So we're going to start at the bottom, and first of all, before I go any further, I want to make sure that all of my embossing buddy is gone. The first time I did this card, I was like, what are those little white flecks on the side? And I realized that I probably inked up over the embossing buddy powder. You can do this as light or as dark as you want. I'm going to go for a darker look, so I'm just going to keep applying ink. Now we're going to switch to our Daffodil Delight. And again, I want it darker, so I'm just going to keep applying ink. And I'm kind of overlapping the Calypso coral so it will blend a little bit. And now I'm just going to add just a little bit at the top to even out my ombre look. I'm not re-inking again. I'm just adding the ink that is on the brayer. So then you just get a pretty softer look at the top. Next, we're going to add this to our Daffodil Delight layer. So on some other videos, I have talked about getting your layers straight. So I'm kind of using the grid paper just to make sure I'm straight across before I actually let it go. Give it a good rub on the back. And then we will add this to our Whisper White card base. I'm going to take my scrap of glossy cardstock and I'm making this into a birthday card. My family has got birthdays every month, so I'm always doing birthday cards. I'm going to take my 1.5 inch punch and I'm going to punch that out. I love using punches. They're easy. Anyone can use them. Take my scrap of Daffodil Delight and I'm using 1 3/4 inch punch. Add these two layers together. It does take a few seconds for the ink to dry on the glossy. It's not a porous cardstock. I don't know if you can see a faint shadow of my happy birthday here when I flipped it over. So I do want to point that out to you so that you don't smear yours. I got lucky. All right, we're going to add this to our card front with some dimensionals. Digging my fingernails into the backing so that it's easier to remove. I did skip a step, and I just realized it. If you want to take a tissue to try to go ahead and wipe off some of the ink that may be stuck to your white embossed powder or your white embossed image, you can do that. So I don't know if you can tell, it's just very faint, but sometimes, again, the ink will not dry on the raised embossed area. All right, what do you think? I know you can't tell, but it's so pretty in person because of the shininess of the glossy cardstock. I forget about glossy cardstock. What about you? Do you ever use glossy cardstock? I know you couldn't tell in the video, but that glossy cardstock does the trick. It's so pretty and easy to use, very forgiving. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I just want to say happy stamping, y'all.